I've got a great idea. Come on, let's get started.
Look around, find your inspiration. Take that step, use your imagination. You don't need to go direct, the road may not lead where you expect. Cause it's the trip, it's not the destination. Make the magic take the stage, roll the camera, turn the page. Take a chance and do the dance. Our story starts with a beat in the heart. Find your own voice, it's what sets you apart. Our story starts with a beat in the
Hi, I'm Tomie DePaola. Want to tell some stories? Come on in. Gabe and I just got back from the library. We got a lot of new books we're really excited about. I wonder which one we should read first.
The end.
Wow, Gabe, you finished reading that book already.
Well, I finished the book, but I didn't exactly start it.
What do you mean?
Well, there were so many pages that I was afraid I'd never finish, so I just went right to the end.
I understand, Gabe. Reading a book can seem like a big job. The same is true when you tell a story or paint a picture. Getting started can be the hardest part.
So what do you do?
Well, I always say it's best to take things one step at a time.
I say the same thing, Tommy.
Oh, you do, Stregonona?
Let me tell you. One day, I asked Big Anthony to do a simple job. Big Anthony, I would like you to do a simple job.
Oh, well, all right.
Where are you going?
To do a simple job.
I haven't told you what it is yet.
Oh. Okay. Then I guess I'm done.
No, Aspetta. Wait. Please, I am going to tell you what it is now.
Oh.
Beh, see. You see this pile of sticks?
Oh.
Move it from here to there.
Move it? How am I gonna do that?
Please take one stick from here and carry it to there. It should not take too long, eh?
Oh, okay. One stick from here and carry it there. Oh. One stick from here. Carry it there. One stick from here. Carry it there.
After only moving 2 sticks, he decided.
There must be an easier way.
So, he went looking for an easier way to move the sticks. He tried yelling at them.
Move, stick, move!
But that didn't work. He tried scaring them away.
Boo! Booga, booga, booga!
But that didn't work. And even tried getting the goat to move them.
Go ahead, goat. Move the sticks. Oh!
Finally, he tried
Magic.
my magic. Big Anthony should have known that magic doesn't do what you want unless you know what you're doing. So, what happened next came as no surprise to anyone except Big Anthony.
Stregonona! Oh, Stregonona! I tried moving the sticks with magic and look what happened. How will I ever move the sticks now?
Oh, no, it's okay. There is a simple solution. See if you can think of it. You move one stick from
Here?
here.
Then carry it there.
Perfetto, Big Anthony!
Yay!
Perfect!
One stick from here. Carry it there.
Sì, bravo! Anthony moved all these sticks, and he learned that when you do a job one step at a time, no task is too big. Oh, Big Anthony, this is so nice. But don't you think it's a little close to the house? Anthony? Ciao, Tommy.
Ciao, Streganona. Moving a stack of sticks isn't exactly like telling a story, but they do have something in common. They both have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna get started one step at a time. 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps.
Here's a first step to help you get started. Every picture tells a story. What story do you see? When I think of getting started, I always think of this, a blank sheet of paper. Isn't it beautiful? It's so filled with possibilities. When I was a young boy, whenever I saw anything that was blank and white like this paper, I wanted to draw on it. I drew on the walls, I drew on the wallpaper, I drew on the walls under the wallpaper, and I even drew on my sheets. My mother liked my drawings, but wasn't too happy about having to clean them off of the sheets. Finally, my grandfather Tom saved the day. He gave me a great big roll of white paper. He was a butcher, and this was the kind of paper he used to wrap up meat. I think it was one of the best gifts I ever got. I'd tape a great big piece of paper on my bedroom wall and fill them up with pictures. I drew pictures of my family, of my friends, and animals. Anything I could think of. I still get excited when I look at a fresh piece of paper and think about what kind of picture should fill all that empty space. I start with one line and see where that line takes me. Sometimes I know where I'm headed, but I never really know how a drawing will turn out until I've done it. It's the same way when I start to write something. I never put a word on paper until I hear the first sentence in my head, and then I see where that sentence leads me. If you ever wonder how to get started with a story, remember that you don't have to figure out the whole thing before you begin. Start with one word or draw one line, then add another and another and another, and before you know it, you've got a story or a picture like this. Now, let's meet someone who started with just a ball of clay and ended up creating one of the all-time great characters. Today's guest storyteller is the creator of Gumpel, Art Clokey.
Hi, Tommy. Hi, Gabe. I'm Art Clokey, creator of Gumpel. While studying at USC Cinema Department, I made a study film called Gumbasia, which was colored clay moving to jazz music. This producer, Sam Engel, wanted to improve the quality of television for children. When he was looking at the Gumbasia, he got this idea for doing a children's series with clay figures like Gumpel. Gumpel was born January 29th, 1955. This is a picture of me animating Gumpel on the moon in the episode called Moon Trip. Gumpel's on his spaceship there. He was made out of a slab of clay, is very flexible character. He's real clay in all of his adventures. I made him with big feet, so he'd be more stable because clay is very dense and it would fall over if it didn't have big feet. And I was fascinated as a child with my dad's curl of his hair. He was very proud of. So I thought that would be a good thing to put on Gumpel.
Young man, you're going to make television history.
Why did I use clay? It's a perfect medium for expressing yourself, and that's what sculptors do. Because clay lends itself to change, and change is the essence of art. But it's all stop motion animation. You take an object or a character and you move it, say, 1/4 of an inch, and then you take a picture of that displacement, and then you move it again, and you take a picture until you take 24 frames every second. How long does it take to do one 6-minute episode of Gumby? Well, one animator can do maybe 20 seconds in a day. 20 seconds is a third of a minute. 3 days to do a minute, and to make one episode, it took 18 days. I used to tell stories to my children before they went to sleep, and that kind of a Gumby character was sort of an act of love for my children. He was kind of like an ideal boy. Pokey is like a straight man for Gumby. He's down to earth. All 4 feet are on the ground, so he's well grounded. We have to ship him in foam. They're very fragile. You learn by doing. What you do is you go down to the art store and buy some clay. You just get your little video camera, focus it on the clay that you're working with, and move the clay maybe a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 of an inch, and then take a picture with your video camera. You just continue doing that, and you'll learn as you go. That's all there is to it. Well, Tommy, have a Gumby life. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Art. I'm so happy Art took that first step and started creating his wonderful characters. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them to entertain us.
Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, maybe. Nah. So, Tommy, have you really read all these books from beginning to end?
Yes, Gabe. Some of them I've even read more than once. Reading is one of my favorite things to do. I love entering the world that an author has created. Plus, reading is a great way to learn new things. I always say that if you know how to read, you can learn anything about everything and everything about anything.
Oh.
Here's another one of my favorite things. Stories from you. Everyone has stories to tell, and their own way to tell them. It's about sharing what's in your heart and letting the world know, this is my story.
First I drew the beach down here, and then I drew dips, and then I colored these. Then I did stars, and then I put glitter on it. First the sea turtles come up out of the sea at night. They lay their eggs, then they go back in the water, and then in 50 days, the babies come out. I know all this because I actually let out baby turtles.
Once you guys get started, there's no stopping you. Your work is really inspiring. Isn't it, Gabe? 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 Now where did he go?
Everybody just has to take one step. One.
I still don't see what taking one step at a time has to do with telling stories.
Not that kind of step. Tommy means that you can do anything. Just start, then do one thing at a time.
Yeah, I got a hunch Tommy is right. Get it? I'm a rabbit with a hutch instead of a hunch. Never mind.
Well, it's the same with music. You start with a beat, write a couple of notes.
And before you know it, you're inaugurating a choral cacophony.
Yeah.
What'd he say? In other words, hit it! Keep on telling stories.
How do we begin?
One step at a time. You don't walk before you crawl. Trees are short before they're tall. We think big, but we still start small. Take a step and you can do it all. La 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 la.
La 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 la.
First you have shoot inspiration and you feel shoot anticipation. Then you add shoot dedication. Jump right into a new creation. La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Tell me a story. Paint a scene.
Put it on a screen.
Tell me a story. There's a joke or a poem in every home. You gotta keep on telling stories. Tell me a story. Tell me a story.
This first step stuff really works.
I wouldn't know. We penguins don't take first steps.
You don't?
No, we take first waddle, like so. Wah, 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 wah.
Well, what'll they think of next?
Oh, I'm gonna tell that one later.
Yeah, but right now, let's get back to the beat. Yeah. Woo, play it, Wade. Tell me a story.
The longest trip begins with a single step.
Then let's keep moving.
Tell me a story. Every song you sing, gotta make it your thing. Gotta keep on telling stories. You know you won't be sorry if you keep on telling stories. Keep on! You know, Tommy, taking the first step can be hard.
Yes, but it usually gets easier after a while. It's like when you go to school.
Yeah, the first day can be tough, but later on you start to have fun.
That's certainly the way it was for me back when I lived at 26 Fairmount Avenue. The school day I remember best was the first day of first grade. I was going to be in Miss Canary's class. She was pretty and she always smiled and said hello to me on Sundays at church. I went into room 2. Miss Canary was there, looking prettier than ever. We got our very own desks with chairs. Best of all, Miss Canary said we would start learning to read on Friday. I couldn't wait for Friday. When the day finally came, I was the first one in the classroom. Miss Canary gave me a blue book, so I knew I was in the blue reading group. Miss Canary had a big version of our book sitting on an easel in the front of the room. She pointed to the words in her book and then had us follow along in our books. These stories were all about Dick and his sister Jane and their dog Spot and them running. It wasn't exactly what I had in mind. By reading, I meant once upon a time in a deep dark wood stood the cottage of the woodcutter. I wanted to read real stories from the library, but to get a library card, I had to get Miss Canary to sign a slip saying I could read. So I did a bad thing. I hid the book under my sweater and took it home. Of course, Mom saw the book and accused me of stealing it. She said, "Monday morning, young man, you are going to go to school early and confess your crime to Miss Canary and apologize." I knew she was right. But since I had the book for a few days, I decided to teach myself to read. All weekend long, I asked everyone what the words were, so that by Sunday night, I could read and remember every page. It wasn't that hard. On Monday morning, I confessed my crime to Miss Canary. I apologized and even cried a little. Then I told her to sit down, and I read the entire book to her. Guess what Miss Canary said? She said, "Tommy, that is so great that I am going to sign your library card slip right now." Mom took me to the library the next day, and I got my very own card and took out my very first library book. And I've been reading ever since that day when I lived back at 26 Fairmount Avenue. I don't take books home without permission anymore. That's not a good thing to do.
I'm sure glad you learned to read.
Does that mean you want me to read one of our new books here?
Ooh, I think that one might have a happy ending because in the middle, the lost princess meets a nice family that takes her in.
Well, how about this one?
Oh, that one's pretty suspenseful. At least it is in the middle.
I thought you were going to start reading books from the beginning.
Oh, I'm working my way up to it. I started reading endings. Now I'm reading middles.
I've got an idea. Why don't you read a book to me from the beginning?
Okay, how about this book? Page 1. Once upon a time, in a place very close by, there lived a man and a squirrel.
Oh, this sounds good. Remember, keep telling stories.